Good evening and welcome to the UNSW Engineering information session. It's great to have you all joining us this evening. My name is Yusuf and I am a Senior Recruitment Product Manager here at UNSW Future Students. I'm here tonight with my colleagues and a few of our current students, and we'll run you through studying engineering at UNSW. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the Bedegal, Gadigal, Ngunnawal and the Daruk and Eora peoples who are the traditional custodians of the land on which each of our UNSW campuses stand. I would also like to pay my respects to the elders past and present and extend that respect to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who are joining us today. Before we get into the session this evening, I'd like to give you a quick overview of what to expect tonight. We'll kick off by hearing from Associate Professor Jayashree Ravishankar, who is the Deputy Dean Education at UNSW Engineering. Jayashree will speak about the industry trends in engineering and the opportunities available to you as a UNSW engineering student and beyond. You'll then hear from Wilbur and Kelly, two of our current engineering students, about the engineering degrees on offer at UNSW and the admissions pathways available to you. We'll then cross over to my colleague Svat, who is currently in one of our state-of-the-art makerspaces, to hear more about the student life and experiences you can expect as an engineering student at UNSW. And to wrap up the session, we'll answer your questions through a Q&A panel. If you have any questions throughout the evening, please submit them through the Q&A function and we'll get to them during the Q&A panel. I'll now hand it over to Associate Professor Jayashree Ravishankar to take you through the engineering career landscape.
Hello, I'm Jayashree Ravishankar, Professor and Associate Dean Education in the Faculty of Engineering at UNSW. I have been an academic for many years now, where I get ample opportunities to research on solving real industry problems. I also worked in industry for a couple of years before switching to this academic career. Problems and ideas that will impact society over the next 2 decades rest on the shoulders of our future engineers. From transiting to net zero carbon emission through decarbonisation, tackling the next big cybersecurity threats, merging biology with technology, and creating the most sustainable infrastructure projects, these endeavors demand a combination of technical proficiency, creative problem solving, and expertise. These are precisely the focal points of our engineering programs at UNSW, where we equip students with the skills and knowledge needed to tackle these pressing issues head on. Over the next 10 years in Australia, engineering occupations will see a 21% projected job growth. This is almost double the amount of national occupation growth average. The traditional notion of engineering specializing in a single discipline is shifting as industries increasingly seek professionals with a diverse skill set and the ability to adapt to changing technological landscapes. At UNSW, our students study a wide range of complementary courses through their double degrees, as part of minors, or through the curriculum by studying computing, design, general education, ethics, and leadership to gain a well-rounded skill set. In Australia, while engineers and computer science specialists are in demand in general, the specializations most in demand are mining, civil, electrical, energy, and software engineering. Increasing demand leads to the emergence of new occupations as continuous innovation drives the creation of fresh opportunities. Engineering epitomizes progress, persistently challenging limits and forging into uncharted territories. When you choose to join UNSW Engineering, you become part of number 1 faculty for engineering and IT in Australia. UNSW Engineering is the largest engineering faculty in Australia and offers the widest range of engineering degrees in the country. This includes traditional areas of engineering such as civil and mechanical, but also new and emerging specializations like the renewable energy and quantum engineering. With 8 schools and more than 70 years' experience, our researchers are at the forefront of exciting technological developments, engaging in partnerships both here and overseas. Our consistently high global academic rankings across engineering disciplines reflects the depth and breadth of our teaching and research. Our programs have been carefully designed to match global career opportunities. That's why Australia's top employers prefer our graduates over any other university, and we have had Australia's most employable graduates 4 years in a row now. Finally, we have made a significant investment of over 700 million Australian dollars into our cutting edge facilities, meticulously crafted to ignite multidisciplinary learning, through which you can imagine a world where our students are spoiled for choice with an array of state of art makerspaces and labs, empowering them to transform their visions into reality. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon in UNSW. I now pass this on to Yusuf.
Thank you, Jayashri. Now that you know a little bit about the opportunities available to you as an engineer and as an engineering student, let's move on to the degree options available to you and the UNSW pathways. I'll now pass on to Wilbur and Kelly, who are two of our amazing students, to take you through the degrees we have on offer and our pathways.
Thanks, Yusuf. Within the Faculty of Engineering, students can study a variety of programs. We have three main study areas: engineering, computer science, and food science. Within these areas, students can specialise depending on their field of interest. For example, students can study food science and nutrition within our food science degree, AI within our Bachelor of Computer Science, and quantum engineering within our Bachelor of Engineering honours. Here are our four flagship programs within the Faculty of Engineering. Starting with the Bachelor of Engineering honours. This is the degree that I study. Within this degree, you can choose 18 specialisations. In this degree, you'll gain a solid background in mathematics, natural sciences, and computing that will prepare you to dive into your chosen engineering discipline. You also have to take 60 days of industrial training as a part of your degree, which counts towards your Engineers Australia accreditation. Then, we have our two computer science degrees. In these degrees, students study the design, construction, and use of computer systems. Within the 3-year degree, students have 8 new and emerging specialisations to choose from, including a general computer science option, and in the 4-year embedded honours degree, students study the advanced computing electives, as well as a year dedicated to research. Finally, our specialised degree, the Bachelor of Food Science Honours, will provide you with strong skills and knowledge to enter the food science engineering industry. Students will get this chance to apply yourself to areas of food processing, safety, nutrition, product design and inquiry projects, professional food practice, food systems management, and conduct research towards your thesis project. You may have noticed on the previous slide the point on flexible engineering. Often students know that they want to study engineering, but sometimes they struggle to choose their specialisation. With flexible engineering, students can try out 3 different engineering specialisations through electives in their first year before choosing their major in their second year. In most cases, students are still able to complete their degree within a 4-year timeframe. Get more choice, more career opportunities, and more knowledge with a double degree at UNSW. Choose from over 12 double degrees, either from similar disciplines in the engineering faculty or 2 contrasting but yet complementary fields. Combine your interest with your passion and graduate with 2 degrees. Combine engineering with commerce or engineering with computer science. Thanks for listening. I'll now pass you to one of my peers, Kelly, who will talk about admission pathways.
Thanks, Wilbur. Are you worried that you won't achieve the lowest selection rank for your desired degree? Here are other ways to study our programs. Portfolio entry is a great way to secure an early conditional offer for up to 7 points lower than the lowest selection rank. This involves submitting a video expressing your interest for studying engineering. We want to see your passion for engineering and how you plan on contributing to the progress for all. Applications open soon, so keep an eye out on our website for more details. Another option to increase your eligibility into UNSW is to study our undergraduate certificates. Upon completing these programs, students will receive credit towards their relevant bachelor program. This enables students to graduate within the same time frame as students who entered straight into the bachelor's program. Finally, you can also look to starting a Bachelor of Science and transferring to engineering after the first year, or you can look at our TAFE pathways or starting at another university. and transferring over after the first year. You can find more information about this on our website. This is all from me. I'll now pass back to Yusuf.
Thanks, Kelly. Now it's time to learn more about the student life at the Faculty of Engineering. You'll hear from my colleagues Svetlana and a current student, Jade, who are in one of our makerspaces on campus.
Thanks, Yusuf. Hi, everyone. My name is Svetlana, and I'm the Faculty Recruitment Officer for Engineering. With me here today, I have our current student, Jade.
Hi, my name's Jade. I'm a third year studying Mechatronic Engineering and Commerce at UNSW.
Awesome. And where are we?
We are in the Kirby Makerspace. We have a few makerspaces around campus, which are great opportunities for students to come in and use workshops like these and use tools. You don't need to be an engineering student to use these spaces. You just need to complete your safety badge before coming in and use it for all sorts of reasons.
Okay. And as an engineering student, how practical is your course? So how often would a student come in here, for example?
I think it's a really good balance between practicality and classroom teaching. In fact, the very first course you do as a first year is called Design 1000. And within your 10-week term, you actually build a product and get your safety badge for a workshop like this, which is really awesome that you come out of high school going straight into it. But a lot of people will use these spaces for individual projects, student projects, you name it.
Awesome. And as part of your degree, can you do an internship or placement?
Yes, in fact, for the Bachelor of Engineering, it's a requirement to do 60 days of industrial training. Whether that's an internship that I know a lot of companies actually work with UNSW. I know Sydney Water works with the civil students a lot, and CommBank works with the mechatronics students a lot. Or you can actually go out and find your own internship, which is what I did. I actually just came back and did my 60 days the summer that just went up in Queensland with BHB. So yeah, it's a great opportunity to get that hands-on experience and use what you learn in the classroom. I know some students do 30 days of the industrial training as a student project or a VIP.
Okay. And that's a part of Challenge. What is the Challenge program?
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity for engineering students to use what they learned in the classroom in real life aspects. So there's 4 pillars of Challenge. The first one is VIP, or vertically integrated projects. These are 4 course credit projects that you can do. So I know SunSwift, our solar panel race car, is an example of that. Another example is student projects. So I'm part of UNSW Redback Racing, which is our Formula student team. We build a race car every year, so that's another example. Another pillar is Assistive Tech Hub. This is a great chance to really use those tech skills in real life. So I know a few students built some prosthetics for people with disabilities, which was awesome. And then the last pillar is Humanitarian Engineering, which is a great way to help communities in need by using these skills that you learn. So it's a great way to use what you learn in classroom in a real life aspect.
Okay, that sounds great. Are there any other initiatives that students can get involved in whilst they are at UNSW?
For sure. There's heaps of volunteering, extracurriculars you can do. We have over 300 plus clubs and societies for almost any passion you might have. I'm personally in our Women in Engineering Society, so I'm a director in the Public Relations Department. So we do a lot of support work for people with diverse genders within the engineering field, because we know it's still a male-dominated industry, but there's heaps of support, different mentoring programs, and just fun events to meet people.
Okay, cool. And how can students or future students get involved now?
For sure. So I know we have a Young Women in Engineering, which is a monthly newsletter and some workshops that you can attend. I also recommend coming onto campus for open days or info evenings, especially our open day this year on the 7th of September. You can come into campus, we'll have all sorts of stalls up. You can really get a feel for what UNSW is like in person.
And finally, what's next for you?
So I just finished my 60 days industrial training, but I actually just started a job at a startup called Holbot as a robot operator, which is really exciting. So I'm able to do work that's really related to mechatronics in only my 3rd year.
Wow, that's amazing. And how are you juggling working as well as studying? Are you full-time?
I am full-time student. It is really great that we run on a 3-term plus system, because I can, for example, do 3 in the first term, 2 in the second, and do an internship parallel, and then 3 again, so as a still full-time student. But a lot of Google Calendar and just time organization skills come into play.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. And back to you, Yusuf, at the studio.
Thanks, Fed and Jade. Welcome back to the studio. We'll now open to questions from the chat. Joining me, we have Jayashri, Wilbur, and Kelly. Alrighty. First off, Kelly and Wilbur, can you tell me what you're studying and why did you choose to study your degree?
Yeah, so I'm a third year student doing aerospace engineering and computer science. And why I decided to kind of study here is because I was always really interested in the like aviation field. Like my parents were in the tourism industry, so I've always been like tapped into that. And yeah, I think UNSW was one of the main contenders for my choices because it was the top like engineering faculty at the time. And yeah, I think I made a good choice. I came to a few of the year 12 experience days as well. So I got my hands-on experience through that as well.
Amazing. Wilbur?
So I do aerospace engineering and commerce. So I came over to UNSW to do aerospace because I used to want to be a pilot when I was a kid. So kind of a bit of a straightaway transition there. And I wanted to do the commerce to keep it like broad and so I can like open up as many opportunities as I can.
Yep. Just follow-up question on that, and happy for either of you to answer it. Were you both sold on aerospace engineering, or did you consider flexible first year? Kel? Wilbur?
I think I was pretty sold on aerospace from the kind of get-go.
Yep.
Just because I kind of chose UNSW because it's one of the leading ones in aerospace. Because I saw the labs in year 12, so I was like pretty sold from the beginning. What about you, Wilbur?
I was also sold on aerospace, but I definitely did consider flexible first year because like coming back to that ability to go kind of any direction with the commerce, pairing that with the flexible first year probably would have been a good idea because I could have done whatever I wanted afterwards. But yeah, I was sold.
Awesome. Jayashri, a question for you. What can students expect to learn in the first year of their engineering degree?
The first year of an engineering degree typically covers the foundational courses that provide the knowledge and skills for understanding the principles of engineering. Examples could be mathematics, physics, introduction to engineering design. Students also undertake courses from specific disciplines if they are fixed on a degree like these two. So, for example, courses like fundamentals of electrical circuits for those that have opted for electrical engineering, and in other disciplines something like principles of sustainable energy or computer programming, so they do that as well. In all the first year courses we do have a combination of lectures, tutorials, laboratory sessions, as you would have seen, and even group projects, so which helps students to really get the grasp of those fundamentals necessary to thrive through the engineering degree.
Amazing. And following on to that, back to you, Kelly and Wilbur. How did you find that transition from high school to university? We'll kick it off with you, Wilbur.
I found it was hyped up a lot in school. I think they put a lot of pressure on saying that it's going to be a really crazy jump. But luckily in first year, I found that the lecturers and all of the tutors and stuff kind of helped me along from the start, building on what I already knew from school, but also helping me to get a bit more of an understanding straight away. So it's not like they put everything challenging on you straight away. They kind of ease you into it and then push you to do your best.
Yeah, awesome. Kelly?
I also agree with Wilbur. I think the transition towards uni was very hyped up. I come from a selective school, so the competitive atmosphere is really, really big.
Yeah.
So coming to uni was a lot easier for me because everyone's on the same page, everyone's working together, and it's a lot more collaborative in that atmosphere that like in shoots, kids are often wanting to collaborate with you and wanting to solve problems with you. So I thought that was really good in that transition period.
Awesome. We'll stay with you, Kelly. What does a typical week look like for an engineering student at UNSW?
Yeah, so it depends on how many courses you decide to take every term. But for example, my term this year was 3 courses, and on Monday you kind of go through your lectures and then attend them either in person or online, because we still do them hybrid, and then you attend your labs. So I have a thermodynamics lab, which allows me to get hands-on with my experience at UNSW, and then we also have workshops, which are problem-solving skills that we can do every week. And I think, Wilbur?
Anything to add?
No, it's about the same. There's a lot of problem solving workshops which really help get the understanding going.
How does it look like, how does the week look considering you're doing a double degree? So how is the split between engineering and your other favorite degree?
So it's the same as if I were doing a single degree, because across the course of your degree, it's going to be a little bit longer if you're doing a double degree. Not double the length necessarily, but a kind of condensed version of those two. Doesn't mean you take more courses during the term. So you're still doing the standard 3 or 2 courses each term, which means that the workload is about the same and the commitment is about the same.
Awesome. Jayashri, over to you. Now we're focusing a little bit on the student experience and student life. What are some of the benefits of doing a challenge course or a challenge project as a part of a student's degree?
I'm so happy to talk about this all the time. So challenge courses provide a unique opportunity for students to access the real world applications, interdisciplinary collaboration, as well as hands-on experience. In terms of the practical experience, students get an opportunity to work with the industry professionals. Most industry partners often provide the guidance and also support and the feedback for students in completing the project. And this actually expands their valuable networks and the industry connections, which is very, very important for their future employment. And the interdisciplinary collaboration allows them to work with students from other engineering disciplines, as well as students from other faculties like business and law as well. So this actually mirrors the real world work where they, employees work in a diverse team on challenging complex problems as well. So this is a fantastic experience again. And some challenge courses actually offer international collaborations as well, where students have a global impact. So this is really fantastic in terms of building both their professional development as well as a personal development. In terms of professional developments, students acquire all the skills that are demanded by the employers when they apply for jobs, like teamwork, communication, project management, problem solving. All these skills come through, and personally they have they develop a lot of self-confidence in solving a innovative work problem and providing the solution, and that is all that they need. And therefore challenge programs on challenge courses are really an enriching experience for the students.
Amazing.
I'm sure Kelly and Wilbur must have done something.
I know Kelly's done one. Kelly, can you share your experiences with the challenge program and what some of the highlights were?
So I did more of like a student-led project. So I was a part of Redback Racing in my first year. It's like a Formula One car that we kind of develop in uni. And what's really fun is at the end of it, we get to race other unis as well. So I think during my experience, it allowed me to be hands-on with the car. It allowed me to kind of do things that I wouldn't necessarily do within my degree. So in aerospace, we're always in the labs. We don't really get hands-on with like mechanical and any infrastructure with electronics either. So it was a really good way for me to like jump right in and get into everything like that.
Amazing. Alrighty. Last question. Jayashri, this is about our alternate entry pathway FIAS or portfolio entry. For those students looking to apply via portfolio entry, what are we looking for in the submissions?
So the portfolio entry is for those students who may not meet the required academic qualifications to enter engineering directly, but those students would have probably the potential and the interest and the motivation to join engineering. So what we do is we ask students to submit three things during the application process. The first one is a personal statement where they express their motivation and their passion for engineering. And the second one is we do ask for an academic statement as well. Although this pathway offers a flexibility in terms of admission, we still would like to see what subjects they have done which applies to engineering, and probably they need to submit their latest year 12 report. And the third we ask is a video, which is very important, where they can actually showcase their experiences in engineering related activities, projects, or any competitions they have done. And the video we expect to be well organized, communicated very clearly, and then showing their enthusiasm and passion for engineering. So on the whole, we use all these three documents to actually holistically look into their capability to complete an engineering program if they are admitted.
Yeah.
So that's what we look at it, and it's really good for those students.
Amazing. Thank you. We've just got a related question that's come through the chat. How important is it for a student to study maths in high school? And is it a requirement for entry into our degrees?
Definitely. Math is very, very important because, as I said earlier, this is a foundational course which actually helps in problem solving, which is very, very important for engineering. So students are required to do math at school. In fact, it's good if they can do the advanced maths. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard for them. And we offer bridging courses as well for them to take up math before they join engineering. So math is really important.
Awesome. And I'm just adding to that, the math, whilst it's very important to do it in high school, we don't have any prerequisites at UNSW. It is assumed knowledge. So we will assume that you've learnt high school level math and we'll teach above that. So if you haven't done math, or if you're not considering doing math but would like to do engineering, we would definitely recommend doing something like a bridging course later down in the track. Awesome. That's all the questions we have for this evening. If you're still considering studying engineering at UNSW and would like some more specific information about any of our programs, please note that you can contact our future student advisors by either email, phone, or live chat. Thank you and have a good evening.